Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about smart drugs, brain pills, nootropics, and overall vitamins and supplements I take in my day-to-day to ensure my mind, muscle, body, and overall health is at optimal peak performance. You guys know my productivity and my physical health are probably my two most important things, the things I value highest. So these sort of help me make sure I'm working at optimal levels and as healthy as I can possibly be. Before we get into it, I am not a doctor, I am not a medical professional, I have no license in any sort of this stuff, but these are the things that have improved my health and have worked for me. As always, do your own research, seek your own advice, and make sure you talk to a licensed medical professional before you take any of these or add them to your routine. So with that in mind, let's get started. So first up, we have Host Defense, My Community, the comprehensive immune support type. These are pills. I take 2 of these a day, as you can see. This is basically a mushroom extract. It's an extract of 17 different mushrooms. And the reason mushrooms and these mushroom extracts are an important part of my vitamin and supplement regimen is because they provide an incredible amount of immune support, not just regularly when I'm not sick, but also when I'm sick. They do a really good job of helping me sort of feel better and get over whatever infection or whatever sickness and disease I have. Not disease, I'm not dying, I don't have lumbago, but whatever illness I have at the time, it sort of helps me get over it faster. The importance of mushrooms is that they contain polysaccharides. And what the polysaccharides do is they show evidence of stimulating certain components of your immune system and which help you sort of fight off stress and infection when you're feeling sick and aren't feeling so well. So this is Host Defense, My Community. This is one of my most recent additions to my supplement regimen and I really fuck with it. Next up, very important, we have a vitamin B complex. This has I think there's 12. Yeah, there's 12 B vitamins. Correct me if I'm wrong. Basically, all of these provide cellular energy production and antioxidant support. So things like biotin are an important B vitamin for your hair and your nails. Make sure you got your collagen production is good so you get the nice flowy hair that make the bitches want to smash, you know. B vitamins also help your red blood cell growth, which help improve your cellular function and make sure your energy levels are at peak and working optimally. And it also helps with your hormonal and nerve function. If you need a boost of energy, then I always recommend B complex because it has all the B vitamins and these are super important if you want to make sure your energy and your cells are working at peak levels and peak performance. Next up, we have a calcium, magnesium, zinc supplement with D3. So basically these are all the supplements that are really important for your bone and teeth health. And this specific supplement has magnesium, zinc, and it also has D3. So D3 helps make sure the other calcium supplement is absorbed well. And the D3 helps your immune system specifically during the winter time. The biggest reason why people get sick during the winter isn't just because it's cold out. That's actually a myth. What it actually has to do with is that there's way less sunlight because the sun sets earlier. So since the sun is setting earlier, you're not getting exposed to enough D3 and most people become actually deficient in D3. So supplementing D3 specifically in the winter time, I supplement it also in the summer just to make sure I'm always at the right levels and making sure I'm not deficient. So that's these guys. Next up, we have grapeseed extract, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's the extract from seeds of grapes. So one of the reasons I actually came across this was because it has antiviral and antibacterial properties. There's some evidence that suggests, it's not 100% certain, there's some evidence that suggests that when you take this, it helps prevent viruses and bacteria that can infect your gut. It also helps improve your collagen production and it helps make sure your cardiovascular health and blood flow is operating at maximum levels. Next up, we have probiotics. I don't have the box anymore. I just have the individual little packets that I take each day. I take 1 a day, and if my stomach's bothering me or I'm feeling kind of sick, I will take 2 of these a day. But on a normal everyday basis, I only typically take 1 of these a day. So probiotics are important, in case you haven't heard, I'm sure you have, because a probiotic is basically the good bacteria that resides in your gut. If you're not familiar, your body and predominantly your gut is made up of millions and millions of bacteria and microorganisms, both good and bad. And there's a lot of important microorganisms and a lot of important good bacteria that help regulate your immune system function and help promote your gut and digestive health. Probiotics are those good bacteria that a lot of people often lack, because when you take things like antibiotics, it not totally depletes, but it does a really good job of sort of fucking over the good bacteria in your gut and depleting it. So this is a really good way of making sure your good bacteria and bad bacteria in your gut are in a natural balance. The more balanced your gut is and the more balanced your microbiome is, the better off your immune system and your overall health in your gut and your overall body will be. So that's probiotics. These are super, super important. I have a sensitive ass stomach, so these have really been a lifesaver for me over the past few years, and I take it every single day. So that's probiotics. Next up on the list is glutamine, which is the newest addition I've added to my supplement regimen lately. So glutamine is an amino acid, which is a building block protein. So if you know anything about proteins and amino acids, you know that this is incredibly important for your muscular performance, your endurance, and what this actually does a really good job of is decreasing the amount of time it takes for your muscles to recover after workout or after strenuous activities. So not only is it good for that, but if you're ever feeling sick or you're feeling like you have low energy, your immune system's kind of whacked out, if you take 10 milligrams every 4 hours for 2 to 3 times a day, for a total of 20 to 30 milligrams, there's actually evidence that suggests that the amino acids help improve your immune system function and boost your immune system so you can help fight infection better and get better quicker. I'm a major germaphobe. I hate getting sick. So a lot of these supplements you'll notice are important and vital to immune system health and making sure your immune system and your overall body is healthy and able to fight infections and diseases and hopefully even prevent them a little bit. If you want to get really scientific, glutamine as an amino acid is really important because it helps your immune system's ability to effectively fight and prevent disease. So if you're not taking it, at least take 10 milligrams a day, and when you're feeling sick, 20 to 30 milligrams a day spread out by 3-4 hours. That's what I do. Next up on the list, we have ashwagandha, which is another super recent addition to my supplement stack. So ashwagandha is sort of a nootropic or brain drug or smart drug, as a lot of techie Silicon Valley-esque startup guys like to refer to it as. But basically what this is good for is for regulating your mood and keeping your mood balanced, reducing stress and anxiety, and helping keep your energy levels smooth and steady throughout the day. I've actually noticed a pretty noticeable difference in my overall mood and decrease in stress throughout the day since I've added this to my routine. There's a decent amount of evidence and studies to suggest that this does have an effect on your cortisol and stress levels. So this is my most recent pickup, and I think it's super important to take this to make sure your energy levels are optimal and your body's functioning, and specifically your brain, the most important part of your body, is sort of healthy and strong. So that's what I've been taking. Next up on the list is creatine, which if you've ever been in a gym, I'm sure you've had a super large gym bro tell you that you need to be on creatine if you want to gain weight. I'm naturally a hard gainer. I'm a skinny guy. I still have plenty of weight to put on. I've got some meat to put on these bones. But creatine has actually helped me improve my lifts, helped me get stronger, and actually helped me put on a decent amount of weight, and specifically when I first started training. Creatine, I don't take it so much now just because I have a sensitive stomach, so I take it very occasionally if I'm really trying to up my numbers and up my size for a bit and increase my strength, and I take a very small amount of it. Basically what this does is it increases water retention in your muscles, so your muscles get engorged with water, which allows them to be slightly stronger so you can push more weight, and your water weight increases as well. So if you want to look a little bulkier and you want to be a little stronger at the gym and improve over time, improve your lifts faster, then creatine is definitely helpful. There's also studies that suggest that it can increase and improve your brain function. So if you want to improve brain function, you want to be a little stronger, then creatine's your go-to. Just make sure you drink tons of water with it, because if not, it can sort of, fuck with your kidneys a little bit and give you headaches and get you dehydrated. So make sure you're drinking a ton of water with this, and just in general with all of these supplements. Moving on, we have probably the most common, which I'm sure you probably could have guessed is on it. You have whey protein. So whey protein is exactly what it sounds like. It's protein. Protein is probably the most important supplement you could be taking when you're weightlifting or doing any sorts of muscular training or exercise, because it helps stimulate muscle growth, helps with muscle recovery, and it'll help make sure that your body has the optimal building blocks to create and build new muscle fibers to make sure you're getting bigger and stronger. If you're deficient or lacking in protein, then you're not going to be able to build muscle or put on weight, put on size the way you want to be putting it on. So that's whey protein. Don't take too much of it though. There's a huge, within the bodybuilding culture, there's this idea and notion that you need to be taking, fucking 3 grams of protein per body weight or 2 grams of protein per body weight. Just simply not true. If you're getting 0.8 grams to 1 gram of protein per body weight when you're trying to put on muscle, you're typically in pretty good shape. You don't need to be, scarfing down tons of protein to do that. But this is definitely an efficient and convenient way of drinking protein, because all you gotta do is mix it in with water or put it in your smoothies, and got around 30 grams of protein right there. So that's a really efficient way of doing it, as opposed to scarfing down, steaks and tacos and shit like that. Moving on, we have these two, which aren't exactly supplements. They're kind of something different. I guess you could call them supplements, but they're not in the same realm as these. So I take a nasal spray to make sure my sinuses are clear and open, and to make sure that my nostrils are moist during the winter. In the winter, your nostrils are cold, and the cold air makes your nostrils more susceptible to catching cold viruses. So when you use a nasal spray and you keep your nostrils moist, the hairs inside your nostrils are better suited at regulating and preventing viruses from moving all the way up into your sinuses and keeping them clear. And also, if you drink alcohol and you like to, get a little lit, typically you get dehydrated. Because alcohol has a dehydrating effect. This sort of helps get rid of some of that congestion, because when you're dehydrated, you get congested more, and fucking wake up with boogers stuck to your face, ugly girl in your bed, etc., etc. You know the deal. So that's why I take a nasal spray. And this, last but not least, are zinc lozenges. It's Zinc Spray. It's a zinc spray, and what this does is it coats your throat, and it helps prevent cold viruses from taking hold in your throat, and it can actually, there's some evidence that suggests that it can prevent the incidence and occurrence of cold and flu viruses infections from developing. So I take this as a preventative measure, a couple times a day, specifically when I'm traveling and I know my immune system is going to be a little bit out of whack from all the travel. But also, what this does is, if you are feeling sick, there is evidence that suggests if you take this in the first 1 to 2 days of your sickness, that it can lower and decrease the duration of your sickness by at least 1 to 2 days. And I found that when my throat's bothering me in the winter and it's cold out, that this helps my throat feel better, because what it does is it coats your throat with zinc, which has antiviral properties and prevents the virus from taking hold in your throat. So at least I have one less thing to worry about when I get a cold. That's what I take. I actually was recommended this by watching a Tim Ferriss video. And if you don't watch Tim Ferriss, then you're missing out, and you're missing out on Zinc Spray, so make sure you get that. The only supplement I don't have on here, because I ran out of it yesterday, is fish oil. Fish oil is an important omega-3 fatty acid that's important for weight loss, but it's also important for your cholesterol levels and your overall heart health. So if you're not taking fish oil, it's another one I recommend. And that brings us to the end of this video. I'll have all of these linked below for you guys to check out. And if you like this video and you want me to do more videos like this, then be sure to leave me a comment, like the video, and subscribe. And I'll be sure to do more of these more nerdy, more in-depth videos on what makes me healthy. What makes me healthy enough to go and be all these girls' daddies. Because I know, if you're like me, you need to be a daddy. So I'll see you guys soon. Peace.